African music has made a significant contribution to the music of the Americas, both the jazz of North America and the dances of South America. Many of the instruments and rhythms of the South American ensemble have their counterparts in the African ensemble. The gong rhythm, which you just heard, is also played on the claves in the Latin American percussion section. Claves being two pieces of rosewood, and the word clave means key, or it is the principal instrument of the Latin American percussion section. The interest and vitality of African music lies in its polyrhythm, which is a combination of rhythms, which oftentimes is a grouping of twos and threes. In this piece which we are going to play, the gong starts out with a rhythm first grouping twos and then grouping threes, and then using a development of the twos and threes. Castanets are found in Latin American music, and castanets historically have been made from a variety of materials: gold, silver, and different types of woods. This particular pair is made of a composite material which has been pressed. The African castanets are made of metal, and in this particular piece play this rhythm. The South American maracas are made of wood or gourds and filled with beads. They also have their counterpart in the African gourd rattle. The agogo bells, which are becoming very popular in jazz and rock music today, are used in the Brazilian samba. They have their counterparts in the double gong of the African ensemble called nawuta, which plays a rhythm like this. Gongs, rattles, and bells play an important part of the African ensemble. We'd now like to combine the rhythms of the gong, the double gong, the castanets, and the rattle. The hourglass drum, or dono as it is called in Ghana, is one of the talking drums of West Africa. By keeping the drum under the arm and squeezing it, you can change the tension of the head, which changes the pitch of the drum. In this particular ensemble, the hourglass drum plays this passage. The South American tambourine is basically a hand drum with jingles on the side. It has its counterpart in the African ensemble in the frame drum, which are square drums, and we have three different types: a medium, a large, and a small. We'd like to play first the rhythm of the medium drum, followed by the rhythm of the large drum. And now the large drum. now we'd like to combine the rhythms of the dono, the medium frame, and the large frame. The small frame drum is the last to enter, and it plays basically a simple rhythm which is divided into groupings of two. However, the rhythm becomes complex when it crosses the rest of the rhythms of the ensemble. Popular bands in Ghana are organized bands which are formed to play different styles of music, much like we have the different styles of bands in our own culture. This particular ensemble, Asadua, is meant to play gay and festive music. And now, putting all the rhythms together, we start with the gong. While we're getting ready for our second number, I'd like to comment on its function. Unlike the first group, which was formed to play music of a gay and festive nature, the second ensemble was formed to play funeral music. Next to the royal music of the Ashanti, the Ottawa ensemble, as it is called, is probably one of the most well-known. Within the Ottawa ensemble, there are many drums used, the most important of which are the atumpan. They are two drums with a high and low pitch, which function both as a musical instrument and as talking drums within the ensemble. The atumpan player will often pause during the course of the piece to comment upon the situation, to extend sympathy, or show appreciation. Let's listen to the atumpan. Next to the atumpans are the two hourglass drums, or the donos. The first dono plays a duple rhythm, first a high note and then a low note with a glide off in between. The second dono plays cross rhythms to this, sometimes groupings of three, and with high and low pitches and glide offs in between. Now let's listen to both drums put together. The next drum is called a pentama and is a hand drum of a very sonorous nature. Its basic rhythm is a high and low pitch, as well as entering with a flurry, and sounds something like this. Next to the epentema is the patia drum, which is played with sticks and plays a grouping of 5 notes, first 3 and then 2. It can also vary its pitch by pressing on the head, which makes the pitch go up. We also use 2 gongs within the ensemble. The first gong starts with a grouping of 3 followed by a grouping of 2. The second gong plays a part which crosses the first gong and sounds like this. Now both parts together. And now we'd like to play the funeral music of the Ottawa Ensemble, starting first with the gongs, then the hourglass drums, the epentema, the patia, and the atumpan. Of the ensemble are going to get in position for our third number called Sichi. Sichi is a youth dance and a contrast from Ottawa, which you just heard. It utilizes many of the instruments that Latin America dances have and also some of their rhythms. For instance, the gong starts with the same rhythm that the claves play in Latin music. The mental castanet and rattle join the gong with this rhythm. They, in turn, are joined with a drum played with a stick in the hand using an open and a closed beat sounding like this. We next have the 2 hourglass drums, or dono drums. They actually play the same pattern, which sounds like this. However, the pattern is staggered 1 beat apart and comes out as a cross rhythm. They, in turn, are joined by another high-pitched drum playing this rhythm. drums are then joined by the pentomas. The pentomas sound very much like the conga drums of South America. The first one sounds like this. And the next. And now we'd like to put all the instruments and rhythms together in the dance called Sichi. While the members of the ensemble are getting into position for our final number, which is the famous Samba of Brazil, I'd like to review some of the instruments which we presented at the beginning of the program. The claves, the maracas, the tambourine, and the double gong. In addition to these, we use the guiro, which is a dried gourd plant with ridges cut on top and scraped with a metal scraper. We next have the cuica, which is an unusual drum. It is a friction drum. It has a stick attached to a skin head, and the stick is rubbed with a wet cloth. You can change the pitch of the drum by depressing the top head. It sounds like this. Next to the cuica, we have the timbales, which are two drums played with sticks, and in addition, it uses a bell. Coming from the timbales to the bongos, which are two small hand drums, and they sound like this. Next to the bongos are the conga drums, and they may be likened to the pentama drums of the African ensemble. And now we'd like to put all the instruments together in the samba from Brazil.